I'm really excited today to go over to Vasper Systems to learn about some new training and recovery technology.
Really nice to see you.
Yeah, you too, Brian.
Got Sebastian here from Vasper Systems. We're here to check out a session. He's going to tell us all about what's happening with this technology.
So first things first, we're just going to get you adjusted for the seat here. Go ahead, put your feet in the pedals.
Okay.
Let me see you grab the handles and go back and forth through the range of motion. That looks good. So basically, before we get you strapped in, just to give you a quick explanation of what Vasper is.
Yep.
It's a technology that's designed to stimulate your body's production of anabolic hormones.
Okay, cool.
So this is something that naturally occurs when we work out at a very high intensity and is arguably the single greatest benefit of working out. Vasper is a means of initiating that same benefit, but through a much lower threshold than is normally involved.
Very awesome. I like that efficiency.
Awesome.
Cool.
So first things first, we're going to get you strapped in on your left leg with this cuff.
Okay.
So while you are exercising, these cuffs are going to fill up with very cold water, about 45 degrees in temperature, and it's going to squeeze your limb throughout a 21-minute interval-based workout.
All right.
So the pressure is actually going to reduce the superficial blood flow and rapidly concentrate lactic acid and other metabolites in the muscle.
Okay.
And that is actually what's going to drive your body's production and release of things like testosterone, growth hormone, IGF-1, DHEA, etc. So especially endurance athletes, you're going to see a major uptick in your performance, in the gains that you're seeing, as well as a greatly expedited and enhanced recovery, which is, critical.
Awesome. Yes,
critical.
Definitely.
So as soon as we hit next page, you're going to feel some cooling and some pressure start to build into the cuffs.
Yep.
Get you up to 80 on the legs. We get you up to 50 on the arms.
Okay.
So you feel the cooling and the pressure building into the cuff right now. As soon as the cuffs are nice and tight and we know they're not going to slide down the leg, we'll begin the session.
Okay.
The way the protocol is structured is we have a 7-minute warm-up followed by 7 sprints alternating between 30 and 15 seconds. Throughout the whole protocol, you want to maintain the red line, which is a representation of your power output, in between these parallel yellow lines.
Gotcha.
The pressure should be tight enough that it's creating a steady burn. All right, you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, so slowly start going back and forth. You're going to get a feel for this range of motion, the recumbent stepper. We have on one end of the spectrum, Navy SEALs, astronauts, professional athletes, human performance centers. And on the other end, this technology is being utilized in physical therapy, cardiac rehab, geriatrics, really any type of medical fitness or rehabilitation that you can imagine. You're barefoot because we are, one, cooling your feet, and second, because there's also some grounding that's occurring on the copper plates that are grounded through the water.
Cool.
So that enables you to dump accumulated static electricity and at the same time pick up negative electrons, which is good for cellular rejuvenation, reducing inflammation in the body. It's the same thing that happens when we're barefoot on the surface of the earth, where there's a 10 hertz discharge that occurs, and that's actually very beneficial for any biological being. But even more than that, we're cooling the bottom of your feet, and our hands and our feet can really act like our thermostats in a lot of ways. If you ever notice that you're hot under a blanket and you just pop your feet out, you all of a sudden feel more relief. You feel cooler.
Definitely.
So not only are the foot plates cold, the entirety of the seat that you're sitting on is cooled.
I noticed that.
and the cuffs all have the same water flowing through it. And that's for a few different reasons. One, we want to mitigate some of the discomfort of rapidly concentrating lactic acid. That burn would be even less comfortable if the cooling weren't in place.
Right.
It lowers the perceived level of exertion during the exercise, but more than anything, it enables you to perform at a higher level for the duration of the protocol. And as soon as you start sweating, you're going to compromise some of your athletic capacity because there's less blood in the muscle, less oxygen in the muscle, and that's what you need to perform. At this point, are you starting to feel any burn yet in the legs?
Yes.
Okay, good. So it's funny because we've been working out for 3 minutes, and I would imagine that the sensation in your quads especially is as if you've been working out a lot longer and harder than just that little bit of time.
I don't feel cardiovascularly like I'm working very hard, but it definitely feels as if I'm kind of getting into interval state.
We are banking on a lot of the same existing science behind interval training. It's all sort of loosely based around that 1 to 3 work to rest ratio, 30 seconds on, 90 seconds off. And it's through that we're able to engage the whole spectrum of muscle twitch fiber, and to do so in conjunction with nearing that lactate threshold. Those are the best conditions to initiate the downstream anabolic effect, which is simply your body's production and release of the hormones that are going to make you stronger, faster, recover better, as well as just generally rejuvenative to every system in your body. So we're about 45 seconds away from the first sprint. What's going to happen is the resistance is going to jump 3 levels. We're going to go from 5 to 8. And you're going to see those 2 yellow lines expand quite a bit. So it's going to prompt you to be going much faster with respect to your power output. Know that it's a focused effort for 30 seconds, followed by a 90-second rest period. During the 90-second rest, we're actually going to keep the watts below 30. So much, much slower than the pace that you're currently warming up at. And we're just going to take it up and down like that. All right, sprint number 1. There it is. Nice. Nice job. So now we're going to slow it way, way down. So most of the magic happens in the legs. That's where we have the most muscle mass and opportunity to produce and concentrate lactate. But there is some enhanced effect to doing it in the arms. So that's the really fun thing about this part of the protocol. Is when you disengage from the first sprint, is when you'll feel the most significant increase in that burn, you know? And it's funny because the resistance drops, the strides per minute drops, but all of a sudden the burn rushes up like you're riding your bike straight up a mountain.
I mean, my legs feel like they're so packed up right now.
But a lot of endurance athletes talk about like not feeling this for at least an hour, hour and a half into a workout.
Definitely.
So we've had triathletes and professional endurance athletes shatter their personal best records, actually, even after doing 10 sessions on here. We had a triathlete go to the Ironman in Kona, and she took 50 minutes off of her personal best. So it's a reflection of what this can do for your lactate threshold. It can push that wall out further and further, and improve your vascular performance throughout your whole body. That's actually where the name comes from. Vascular performance, Vasper.
Cool. It's interesting because there's not, like I don't feel like I'm out of breath, you know? I'm
exactly.
gasping for air right now.
Most people would associate this type of a burn in the legs with being out of breath, overheated, major electrolyte depletion through sweating. So to achieve it in such a low impact and efficient process is a very new experience, especially on your first session. Crushing it. And what's great about it is while the burn remains, fairly constant, fairly intense right now, you should be pleasantly surprised that you are not going to experience a big delayed onset of muscle soreness following the session. A lot of people expect to be smoked with how intense the burn can be during your protocol. But it's actually so low impact that we're not truly breaking down muscle tissue in the way that you would with more conventional exercise. And that's where that lactate gets trapped and creates that delayed onset of muscle soreness. This will actually help you alleviate that from previous training. So you can come into a workout really, really spent, really, really worked from other training, and then be amazed at how much more recovered you are an hour following your workout.
I noticed, like, we first started doing this, and I was thinking, oh, how am I going to sustain it? But how it's set up, it's,
you start to acclimate to that high concentration of lactate. So usually after the first sprint, some people are like, I don't know if I can do 7 more of these. But then when you get to the end of it, people actually, their last couple sprints tend to be the strongest one, which is sort of counterintuitive. And we saw the same with you here today. One of the most common immediate benefits that people report across all demographics is major improvement to quality of sleep. Other benefits include relief of chronic aches and pains. A lot of people come to us in the case of being injured because anybody who's limited in their capacity to exercise, especially at a high intensity, this is an incredible way to expedite the recovery process. So it's incredible the results that they're seeing in even cardiac rehab setting, physical therapy settings. We're in the offices of orthopedic surgeons that are putting their patients on before and after surgeries in some cases. So there's some really, really exciting medical applications to the technology. And then on the performance end, there's a growing number of pro athletes who are getting these for their homes, as well as professional sports organizations.
I need to get one of these for my van.
There you go. It'd be tight in the van with one of these. This machine in the background, the Livo 2, it sounds like Darth Vader. but it's a really great technology that we pair sometimes with the Vasper system, where you can create oxygen debt or oxygen saturation. So you can kind of create some of the same effects of altitude training and create variability in the amount of available oxygen, and that can initiate more of a training effect. And in some cases, you're actually going to want to increase the user's oxygen saturation in their bloodstream and enable them to perform at a higher level than they would otherwise.
Awesome.
Nice
Very
work,
cool.
dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the next part of this is we're going to have you lay down on the cooling bed.
Okay.
It basically acts as a transition between the workout and the rest of the day.
Okay.
Have you ever been to a yoga class?
I have, yes.
You know how at the end of yoga you lay there in Savasana?
Yes.
This is essentially our version of that. We want to allow your breathing and heart to come to its resting rate, and for you to just be refreshed, reset on your way out.
Awesome. I like that.
We'll go there now.
Very cool.
Cool. All right, so here we're laying on the cooling pad. Again, the water flowing through everything is about 45 degrees in temperature. You want to elevate your legs, give your body a chance to sort of process and integrate the physiology there, allow your breathing and heart to come back to its baseline, back to its resting rate. And even more than that is send that hard stop signal to your body and to your brain that the workout is over, the intensity is over, and kind of let you know that you've transitioned out of that phase, and that can sort of help coax along that downstream anabolic effect. So spend at least 5 minutes on there. Most people are probably 5 to 10, but anytime that your heart and your respiratory rate is back to baseline, you're good to go.
Okay.
Cool, man. I'll let you relax.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it.